Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Potty Nook Stitches. Now, I haven't been on for I think about 3-4 months, and my plan was to still be doing episodes, but I've been moving from California to Arizona, so my husband and I have been going back and forth. It's about a 5-hour drive, and we're bringing a trailer full of stuff every time we come. And we did that like 4 or 5 times, and then we were having construction done on the inside of the home here in Arizona. And back history on why we moved to Arizona is my parents used to live in this home, and then they both passed away over 5 years ago. So my husband and I thought that this would be a good place for retirement once my husband stops working in a couple years. So I am in Arizona, right by Lake Havasu, and so we have a lot of activities to do here. We did get a boat, and then last year we had our kids over, and we took them all boating, and that was a lot of fun. So we're doing boating and trying to get familiar with the new town, trying to get involved in the community. So there's just been a lot going on. And I've been telling myself ever since I started this getting prepped to move back in March was, going through all this stuff, calling my kids, do you want this? And just having to go through every cupboard, closet. It was, and we lived in that home like 18 years, so we had a lot to go through. We made the official move where we're living in Arizona more now than in California about 2-3 weeks ago. So I'm in my new craft room right here that you can see. The home here is smaller. So we have plans to expand, and then eventually we're going to build on a craft room. So right now in my craft room, I can't use any of the closet space because we have all the boating gear and fishing gear in this closet. So almost everything for my craft room is in this room without in the closet. And my husband was saying, okay, Lori, you got to go vertical. So as you can see behind me, I am stacking bins on top of bins, and I even have my lamps on top of bins too. So I did get it somewhat organized. At this point, I don't have a lot of my decor in here, so I kind of missed that, but it's functional. I come in here, rearrange, reorganize, and then I call my grandson. He's going to be 10, and ever since he was a little guy, he just loved organizing. So I FaceTimed him, showed him the room, and he's like, wow, Nana, that's really messy. I go, well, see the couch over there? And he's like, no, I can't see the couch because I have all this stuff on top of the couch. So then after I had that conversation with him, the next day I came back in here and got even more organized. So that's what's been going on in my world. And so the word that I'm using for what I've been going through the last couple months with moving is I'm living in disarray. So that's my new word right now. One other quick story. Instead of living in disarray, one time we came here and we were living in chaos. So we show up with a trailer full of stuff, and it's 105 was the high here, which technically isn't too hot. But we walk in and the air conditioner wouldn't turn on. So the air wasn't turned on. So the house was hot. I think it was like probably right around 95, I'd say. And my husband's trying to get the air to work. It won't turn on. And he's like, what are we going to do? And I said, flat out, we're getting a hotel tonight. So we had to spend 2 nights in a hotel. We contacted the air unit company, and they came, checked our air conditioner, which used to be my parents' air conditioner, and we find out it is 15 years old, and the compressor went out. So I was just like, let's just get a new one. We got to get a new one. We're going to be living here full time. The other one's old. So we were in the hotel for 2 nights, and then we were able to move back in here. So that's my quick update. And now this episode is going to be a mid-year WIP parade. I've noticed on Flosstube everyone was doing their WIP parades, so I thought I'd chime in a little late to do my mid-year WIP parade. Now, I started doing Flosstube back, I think it was in November 2024. And so I'm going to do the projects that I'm working on right now. I'm going to do them in order. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. So grab your stitching, put your earbuds in if you wear earbuds, and I'll try and entertain you guys while you're stitching away. Oh, I forgot one thing before I start my WIP parade. I do have a final finish object. Now this one, I'm really excited that I got it done. So here it is, and what I did is I used like 3 different patterns and just positioned them where I wanted them. I first started off doing the cloud, and then I stitched my name, and then I put all these cute little motifs on there, everything that I enjoy doing, knitting, sewing, knitting, crochet hook, embroidery hoop, and thread, and safety pins. So I was so excited to get this done. Now, the way I finished it off, let me show you the back. I purchased this at Hobby Lobby, and all I did was I did excuse me, I did a flat finish, I think it's called. So I just finished this off on sticky board, and then I just trimmed around with some ribbon, and then tied a ribbon at the very top. So there is my official Cloudy Nook Stitches plaque. Now, if you're a Flosstuber, I would love to know, have you guys designed something with your floss name on there? If so, I would love to hear about how you did it. So, all right, let's go ahead and start that WIP parade. Okay, now the very first project that I started back in November is called the Vintage Sewing Room. It was designed by All About Cross Stitch, and I did it on 14 count Aida. And there it is. And I'll put a picture of it up here so you can see what the full pattern's gonna look like. Now, what drew me to this one was definitely the sewing machine. I do quilting, and I got my grandmother's old gosh, what machine? I think it was a white sewing machine, and it was made in black cast iron. You know, the real sewing machines they would build. And I had the original receipt, and I think she purchased it for $45, I think. And it was back in the 40s. So I was just so excited to get that from my grandmother. So there's my first WIP. And then I'm going to also share my bags that my projects live in. So this one is for the Benches Sewing Room. And I made this one. So I had all these extra zippers, and I'm like, what am I going to do with them? And I'm like, oh, make a project bags. So yeah. Now my next project is called the Great White Shark. It was designed by Happy Little Mouse, and I got it on Etsy. And the previous WIP I also got on Etsy, and I'm using markup RXP to do the stitching. And here is the project bag that this one lives in. Of course, I had to get some sharks on there. And here it is. Now, the last time I showed this, I didn't have a lot on there. So right here is going to be his mouth. And this is the only project that I'm working on with black. And oh my gosh, is that a trick? I think that's why I got a really good lamp. And it says floor lamp. And then I could cock it over and get it like right on top of my projects. So, and then I got a cute little needle minder there. And I do have, I do like sharks. If you've heard my, seen my other episodes, I talk about when my grandkids were younger, we would play this shark game. And so, and then I named my car. So the car I have right now is called the Sharkmobile. And I have the front license plate frame around there are shark teeth. So, and then in the back plate, I have these cute little sharks on there. So, but yeah, so that's my love of sharks. My next project is called Matter in Hand, and it is designed by Jeanette Douglas Designs. And here's a photo of the project. And I saw this project and I had my eye on it for a while. And then I came across the Flosstube channel Highway Stitcher, Colette Kingsley, and she was talking about how she started a stitch along, hashtag Matter in Hand, SAL. And I guess her and a bunch of other ladies, every year they start up a stitch along to share if you attend the Stitch West retreat. I haven't been to a retreat yet, but I do plan on going to one in the future. So it'll be fun to hear back how many of those ladies actually finished it to share at that retreat that's coming up. And another thing I really enjoy about this pattern is it has to do with cross stitch. I love doing any kind of pattern that is sharing the crafts that I enjoy doing. So here it is. I've made a pretty good start so far, and I love the colors. Now the fabric, let's see, what was this fabric? Oh, I got this fabric when I was belonged to the monthly club of Be Stitch Me, and this fabric is 16 count Aida in vintage. And the color of this fabric, I think, goes really well with the DMC thread. So that is one of my projects that I can't wait to get framed. The next project I have is called the Christmas Moose, and it was designed by Panna, P-A-N-N-A. And here is the picture of the moose. And this pattern was given to me. It was actually a kit. It came with everything, the floss and the fabric. And my son gave that to me as a Christmas gift last year. So every time I work on it, I always have to send him an updated picture to see how it's coming along. And this project lives in this bag, which I made. And then sometimes when I get really organized, I make a tag and then put the name of the project on it. And here's how far I've gotten on it so far. There he is. He was so fun to do the eyes. So on this one, I bounce around. I'll sometimes work down here and then I'll move up here. So, but I think I'm gonna like finish this page first before I start on the second page of them. Okay, the next WIP I'm working on is in the Keeper of the Pens, designed by Brenda Curvey. And here's the booklet. And I've already made 2 of the patterns in here and I finished them. So the one I'm working on right now is this one with the lady. So let me show that one to you. It's a very small start. There it is, right there. Now this project is on, I'm doing it on 28 count linen. And this is my first time trying a different fabric instead of Aida. I tend to gravitate to 14 and 16 count Aida. So, but I do want to venture off and try some of the other fabrics like linen. So it definitely is a different learning curve for me on how to count my stitches. So I'm excited working on a more smaller project on linen. So yeah, so I am working on that one. Now this next one is a stitch along that I found at the beginning of the year. It's called The Great Outdoors. And the information for the stitch along is at stitchingcabin.com. And the project bag that it is living in is this one. And I purchased this bag from Pop-Up Stitcher. I do kind of gravitate more to the vinyl fronts. That way I can see which project I have in that bag. And let me show you how far I've gotten. This one's fun. So there it is. Now, let's see, there were 8 parts to the stitch along. So the mountains was, let's see if I remember right, January, And then we had February for these two. February. Then I think it went March, and I think I'm on April right now. So I still have a little ways to go. This is my very first project doing a lengthwise where it's going to be nice and long. So I do plan on framing this project. And let me give you a closer up. So you got some cute little bears, a compass, hiking boots, and foxes. And this was a 14 count yellow diamond Ada. So I am enjoying this one. Now this project was also a stitch along that I found. One of my 2025 goals was to participate in, I think, 2 or 3 stitch alongs. So this is called One Stitch at a Time by La Di Da. And they have a Facebook page called Across the Pond. So you could go to their Facebook page and post photos of your project. And I'm working on it on 16 count wheat Ada. And the bag that this one is in is by Garden Stitchery. And I purchased it on Etsy. And here's the back. And let me show you how far I've gotten. I have it still in the hoop. So that's how far I've gotten so far. I really enjoyed doing the birds. I think that was the first time I stitched a bird. And then the bag it came in had a matching needle minder included. So yeah, I do enjoy working on this one. What I've been doing with my stitch along projects is I work on them during the weekend. Now I've also started some spring projects that I just work on during the spring. And one of them is called Spring Sampler. It is designed by, oh wow, I cannot pronounce her name. I'll make sure I write it up here for you. And I purchased this project bag on Etsy. Can't remember the name of the shop, so I apologize. If you want to know, just leave me a comment below and I could get that information for you. And this project, this is how far I've gotten. Trying to spread out all those wrinkles. So there it is. Got a good amount done. I've just now starting to do houses in my projects. And then I have one other spring project, so let me show that one to you too. My other spring project is, I keep it in this bag. And I made this bag, and this cross stitch right here was a mystery stitch along that I did. I can't remember the name of it, but I really enjoyed taking it and making it into a project bag with it on the front. And this one is called The Lovely Dove by the Artsy Housewife. And another funny story, here in Arizona, we live on just under like a half a acre, and most of our property is gravel and rocks. My parents didn't do a lot of landscaping, so once we do some other work, landscaping will come at the end. So I have an area out there where I wanted to feed the quail. And so I got some bird seed at Walmart, and I put the seed out, and about 2 days later after I started this, I'd walk out there and all the seed is gone. And then I realized I'm not just feeding quail, I'm also feeding the dove. And I feed probably anywhere between 20 to 30 birds a day. And I have them so trained now, when I wake up in the morning, I see them all lined up on top of our fence line. And then I go out there, I give them their food, come back in, and then they all come flying in. So, yeah, I tell my family I'm the crazy bird lady on the street, and they just shake their heads at me. So, anyway, that's why I picked this one. So here's how far I've gotten so far on this project. It's right here. There it is. And I am doing this on 14 count Ada. So I set my spring projects aside until next spring. And then I bought some fall projects that haven't started yet. So those will be new starts in a later episode. My next WIP is my birthday start that I started in March. It is called Pelican. It's designed by Light Unicorn Designs, and I'm doing on 14 count Ada. And here's another one of those pop-up stitcher bags that I purchased on Etsy. And so this one, you probably won't be able to tell what's going on. This is how far I've gotten so far. And I know down here is the bottom, and this is the top of the bird. So I'm just kind of, as you can see how I just bounce around wherever I want to work, and then it slowly fills in. In past episodes, I always talk about my 3 favorite animals: pelicans, penguins, and moose. So that's why I had to do this pelican to celebrate my birthday. Now this next stitch along, I am real excited that I heard about it and started it when it got released. I'm not caught up, but it's one of my projects I work on pretty often, and it is the Extraordinary Bird Stitch Along by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. Now this project is in this bag that I purchased on Etsy, and I had to find a bag with birds on there. And the designer of the bag is Mesa Quilt Company, and I've been really impressed with their bags and the size of their bags. Now, I am doing this project on 16 count Lindy Stitches Ancient Ada, and I think that was one of the called for suggestions for fabric. And so let me show it to you. Oh my gosh, look at that. The detail in this is just amazing. And then there's just a little bit of back stitch just to make certain areas pop out a little more. And oh my gosh, I just love this project. I think let's see, I think I'm on number 5, clue 5. Um, so, and then I have more that I finished all tucked up in here, but I just didn't want to take it apart right now. So if you're doing this project, because I know it's very popular, oh, please let me know, because I want to go see where you are on it. So yeah, love this one. Now this next project, I decided to do a project based on hearing people on Flosstube. They had a snow day project. So every time it snowed where they lived, they had this project that they would work on. Well, I live in Arizona in the middle of the desert. I don't see it snowing. So I thought, okay, well, what can I do? Kind of not a snow day, but another kind of day. So I have, and I'm like, what do I call it? You know, hot day, heat day, scorching weather day, extreme heat day. So, so where was I going with this? So, what I decided to do is in Arizona, it easily gets up over 110 degrees. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do a scorching hot day when the weather is 110 and up. I will work on this project. And I'm keeping track of how many days will be over 110 degrees. And so far I got a fair amount. Hold on, I could tell you real quick here. Oh gosh, there's a lot. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 25 days. It's been over 110. So I went on Etsy to find my pattern, and this is called The Sun, and it is designed by Sam X Stitch. And here it is. I have never done this kind of design before, the mandala design. So when I first started off in the center, I just was doing a little bit every different directions. And then once I got that center area done, then I started stitching in a circle. It'll be easier to count it out doing it that way. So that is my scorching hot day project that I work on when it's 110 and hotter. So if I don't have it done this year, I'll finish it off next year. And then once this one's done, then I'm going to start another project. Probably do a different sun. I think I'll keep with the theme of a sun. So yeah, I have fun. So I'm working on this one like almost every day in the summer. And then I made this project bag yesterday. And I just cut up, I think those are finished 1.5 inch squares. And there's the back. Okay, we finally made it to my very last WIP, and this one is called Kris Kringle, designed by the Prairie Schooler. And I am making the one with the duck. Which one is that one? This guy right there. Now, I wanted to start a project in July for Christmas in July, and this was my new start for that. And this is how far I've gotten so far on it. So I got a piece of fabric here, a fair amount size, so I could do more than just one on this piece. So that is the plan. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me and joining me in my WIP parade. I really enjoyed doing it for you, and it gives me a chance to see all my projects and where I'm at and where I want to go. So thank you. If you enjoyed this channel, please subscribe. I am just under 1,000 subscribers. So once I reach 1,000, I'm planning on doing a giveaway. And if I reach 1,000, my oldest grandson, who's 13, he challenged me. He said, Nana, when you reach 100 subscribers, we're going to do a party. And we did a family party. And then he said, okay, when you reach 1,000, we get to do another party. So I'm really excited to be able to do this fun family birthday party with my grandson. So anyway, thank you for hanging out, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now, until we meet again.